Any advertising executive will tell you the essence of propaganda is repetition.
Rockets raining down on southern Israel.
Rockets raining down on Israel.
Well, Hamas rockets rain down on Israeli border towns.
Then Luntz tells PR spokespeople to turn the tables and ask the American people, what would you do?
So what would you do in the United States?
Can you imagine what America would do if it were facing a similar threat?
We always try to ask you the question we ask ourselves. What will you do?
What would you do?
What would you do if more than 3,000 rockets had been fired on your cities?
What would you do? 3,000 rockets.
What would you do if terrorists were tunneling under your frontier?
What would you do if 3 kids are kidnapped because of a tunnel network?
So we kind of talked about this a little bit, but I want to get in probably a less important part of this, which is just simply, you and some others exposed this Israel Project 2009 Global Language Dictionary. It's fairly well known. You can know about it if you want to. You can read it. Does exposing that sort of strategy make a difference?
It makes a difference to the people who can see the exposure. And we know that. And so what the strategy now is, you've got to then marginalize those groups or films like us that talk about this. I mean, the question is, does it make a difference? Well, the Israel lobby thinks it makes a difference because they've done all they can to make sure our film, The Occupation of the American Mind, is not seen. I mean, in one sense, the more attempts that are made to stop the film being seen is, for me, an indication of how important they regard the propaganda campaign to be, that they don't want this to be exposed. And so if you can limit the exposure, I have no doubt the people, and I've seen it from people have told me who've seen it, and other things as well, or through my classes as well. I mean, I've been teaching this for a while. Once people know,
right,
you can't unknow it.
Right, you can't.
And so the strategy is to make sure people don't know. The people, even these things. So you have to. So when our film came out, we didn't get into. I think it's a pretty good film. It's and with a narrator, with one of the great rock stars of our age, as a narrator,
Roger Waters.
It didn't get into one film festival. We submitted to all these film festivals, didn't get into one film festival. It didn't get any mainstream media coverage. The only place it got coverage was through Al Jazeera and through other international online places. And for me, that's an indication of how important it is to control the discourse and the way in which the film has been attacked, the way in which I've been attacked. If it didn't matter, they would ignore it.